Hello from beautiful Destin. Working on sermons. It's not all great in Destin, at least every minute of the day. So I'm working on another sermon on faith, and I thought I'd give you just a little taste of some thoughts about it. It's from a favorite passage for a lot of us. I know it is for me. I love the passage where Jesus helps the disciples by walking on the water in the middle of a storm. This is found in Matthew. If you want to read it, it's a great story. In Matthew 14:22 through 20 or 33. A lot of stuff in there, a lot of stuff for preachers. It could go any way on Sunday when I preach it, but thinking about the title of it either being Faith and Doubt or Faith and Storms. They're all good. They're all almost the same because when there are storms, sometimes we doubt. And if you're thinking that real Christians don't doubt, you need to think again. We all doubt probably every day in some way. It is human nature to question. It is the way we're made up to wonder and sometimes even doubt. A lot of stuff in the story. Introverts will love the story because it begins with Jesus getting away from these people. He's just fed the 5,000. There's crowds of people all around him. And as he does on many occasions, he just needs some space. All of us need that. I'm certainly not an introvert, but I need that kind of space, and Jesus did. So the disciples were covering for him while he slipped away, but he gave them a job and said, hey, I want you to go in the boat to the other side. Well, that's another preaching point for another day. The other side being the other side of the Sea of Galilee, the other side being a place they were not familiar with. It was often enemy territory. Today, if you're looking from where Jesus was anywhere near Capernaum or his side of the Sea of Galilee, you're looking at Syria, so there's still an adverse relationship with the other side. Demoniacs roamed the other side, legends and stories of scary monsters and other things. So a sermon for another day, but he gave them that command. I want you to get in the boat and row, and I'll meet you there. So they go. The lake is not huge, but a storm comes up. Storms are scary. We actually were on the Sea of Galilee one time when a little storm came up, and it was interesting to see the wind blow and to think about this story. But off they went. They become scared. Jesus comes into the water walking to them, which at first does not calm their fear. It freaks them out probably even more. But when he gets to the boat, he does what he always does when we're afraid. He doesn't scold them. He doesn't ask them, why are you afraid? It's so foolish to be afraid. He says, I'm here. Peace be unto you. I'm with you. That's calming, even right now. So they calm down a bit, and yet there's Peter, who is always Peter, and in some ways is always me and you. He needs to take this thing to a different level. The other disciples are settling in, and they're continuing what they were asked to do, to begin to row to the other side. Peter wants to walk out into the water with Jesus. He says, if it is you, Lord, and sometimes we make him into this great hero of faith here. I'm not in that school of thought. I think Peter was a little bit of a hot dog, and I think he wanted to be seen as different than the other disciples. If it is you, Lord, allow me to walk out to you. Prove it. Jesus says, come on. Not much more is said than that. I've had people say to me, come on, sometimes when they didn't necessarily have the best intentions for me. I don't know, but Jesus says, come on, and Peter walks a few steps, and then he crashes into the water, which was some scene probably for his buddies in the boat. And Jesus helps him, I think. In my mind, I picture Jesus helping him back in the boat like a big old wet catfish. I don't know, but he gets back in the boat soaking wet. There's probably some smiles, there may even be some laughter. And the point of the story is get back in the boat where we can all row together. I've asked you to stay together in this storm, Peter, and let's all get to the other side. It's a call for more than just faith. It's faith in community. It's how we get through difficult days and times, by sticking together and not acting out on our own or isolating ourselves in other ways. So there's some kind of story in there for somebody. There are several stories for several somebodies, and they are very important to our faith when we doubt. I pray for you during this time. I pray for myself, because I got to tell you, it is easy to question and doubt right now. I'm praying that Jesus will comfort me and calm me, and you as well, and say, I'm here. I'm with you. Be calm, be still. And I'm praying that I won't go charging out on my own, but that I'll stay connected to those who can also encourage me